All right, then I will call to order the August regular meeting of the Town of Fairfield Flood Prevention, Climate Resilience, and Erosion Control Board. Um, First, we can go around and identify board members and take attendance. Uh, we may have to discuss whether or not we need any alternates, or we can certainly promote alternates if we so. But Becky Bunnell, our chair, is not here. She's absent. My name is John Dilly. I'm the vice chair.
I am Dick Mahusky. I am the secretary.
Greg Podleski, member. And Charles Abercrombie, member.
East Jen, member. Peter Ferrio, alternate.
Terrific. Okay. So I think the first order of business on our agenda is to hear and act upon the minutes from the July.
Well, John, if I may, you can elevate Peter to full member because we do not have 7 members present.
All right. Would anybody like to make a motion to, or do I need
You
a
don't need
motion?
to.
No,
The chair. All right,
just
Peter.
points.
Very good. You're going to act as a member tonight. Thank you, Dick. Thank you, Prue. All right, first order will be the minutes from the July 21st meeting. Are there any comments, edits, questions? I have just 1 or 2.
I have a comment.
Okay. Mine is more kind of pedestrian here. It says an August 15th meeting with the regulator. I think it was a different. I think it was August 5th.
It was the 5th. That's
Okay.
correct. It was the 5th.
And then when they say the regulator, do they mean deep?
That was one of my corrections. I would replace words "the regulator" with DEEP.
Yeah.
To be more
Yes.
specific.
Okay. And then further down in the document, it mentioned the regulator again, and I would do the same thing. I would.
I missed the second one.
You see it there? It's like partway down that page.
Well, what number?
Let me look here. Sorry. Working off of one screen. In page 2 and
Okay,
where it
the
says-
third
where the
bullet.
third
Third bullet.
yes,
Yep,
deep
got it.
meeting with the regulator at 1 p.m. So we just got to update that. I'm sorry, that was the meeting with deep.
I would just strike with the regulator.
Yeah. Yeah, deep meeting. Yeah, 1 p.m.
Deep meeting, 1 p.m.
Yeah. Okay. Those are the 2 things that I noticed.
Okay. Back on the first page, just a formatting comment up at the top. The header uses 3 lines. I think that can nicely be made in 2 lines and it wouldn't look as interesting. Item number 1. I would suggest that the agenda item be put in a different font so that the agenda items and the commentary about them are in 2 different fonts to make it stand out.
Right, but that's not from the meeting. Do you know what I'm saying? So you and I can have a discussion about that, but that's not like correcting the minutes.
It's not a content item. And do you mean font or do you mean bolding, by the way? We can talk about it.
Well, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
All right.
Thank you.
And then down in item number 2, second and third line, there were 15 locations of public spaces. They looked at flooding source and elevation, period. A 12 plus elevation is a good start. I would change that around in between, on the third line down, at flooding source and elevation. Between the word and in elevation, I would insert a target mitigation. The words "a target mitigation," so that it reads, "They looked at flooding source and a target mitigation elevation." And then for a 12 plus elevation is a good start, I would replace that with "of plus 12 feet, comma, NAVD 88." To stipulate what the basis of the 12 feet is. So the sentence would read, "They looked at flooding source and a target mitigation elevation of plus 12 feet, comma, NAVD 88, period."
Okay.
That's more a statement of fact than, it's a good start, is kind of like, I'm sure that was said during the meeting, but.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably what we said. Right. Okay.
And then down at the bottom of that page, second line up, Hurley asked for pictures as the state doesn't see Mr. Bradley's area as a flood problem. I would strike Mr. Bradley's area and insert Route 59. Route 59 is the name of the state highway there. It's more specific.
Or Route 59, there's no mention of the Rooster River, and I think that's probably worth calling out.
Well, but this particular one we're just saying the state doesn't see blah as a problem area. And it's Route 59, which is the state road.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the state doesn't care about Little Allen Drive and Bond Street. Those are not state roads.
Got it. Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Hearing none.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as, you want to make the motion?
I'll make the motion to accept it as amended.
Thank you, Chuck. Manish, did you second it?
Yes, I second it.
Thank you very much. So we'll adopt it as amended. We'll move to
I wasn't here.
Vote.
any discussion. We've already had it, but is there a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
John,
Is that
I'm
five
sorry,
zero?
Greg is abstaining.
He was not here, right?
I wasn't here, so I'm abstaining.
Yes. Yeah. I can't, I can see Chuck on a different view. Okay, all right. The one view I have on here, it cuts the table off where Greg is. But I can see Chuck in the other view. Okay, very good. Then we'll move on to item number 2. To consider and act upon the letter of support to the TPZ, Town Planning and Zoning, and WPCA for the FEMA and performance upgrade to the Fairfield Beach Road pump station. Okay, so there was some material sent around about this. It seems like we're isolating on the Beach Road pump station, but there were a number of items in that report, recommended report. Was there? Did I see a letter?
No, okay, I said, I initiated all this. I included a portion of the report just talking about the Fairfield Beach Road pump station.
Yep.
And this goes back to the topic. The topic is coming before Plan and Zoning. It was supposed to be before them at their last meeting. They ran out of time, so it is now going to be on their September 11th, maybe, meeting. I had a conversation with Emmeline Harrigan, and she said it would be helpful if Flood and Erosion opined on the value of doing these modifications to the pump station. It requires a special exception from the zoning regulations because it's not a residential use in that residential beach district area. So that's the point of the first letter to the planning and zoning. Please approve this because it's necessary to have a robust pump station and have it resist the coastal storms. So I would suggest we take these one at a time. So I sent around a copy of the letter, and this is the letter to the Town Planning and Zoning Commission, to Chairman Corsillo. I mean, it stands on its own. If anybody has any comments or opinions or want to edit it somehow.
I think the letter is fine. It's the other letter that's, I think, problematic.
And that's why we're gonna take them one at a time.
Right, no, but the reason I raise it now is because I think that Becky's suggested edit, I guess, in her August 17th email, simply be incorporated into the letter.
I did not incorporate her comments in this letter to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Her email suggests including something to the effect, quote, "While architectural design does not impact flood functionality, we do support the neighborhood request that the architecture design fit the sense of the neighborhood residential look and feel." My point is, or suggestion is, if that line is input or inserted into the TPZ letter, I don't think you need the second letter. The WPCA gets a copy of this letter.
Okay,
And that's about as far as anybody would want to go, I think.
the reason I split them up is that my opinion is that it is the purview of the WPCA to approve whatever they want to be built. And planning and zoning does not have an architectural review board function as such. So the appearance of that structure is not in the purview of planning and zoning. So that's why I separated them. And just, I mean, all right, my opinion, getting a copy, being copied on a letter is not as strong a message as getting the letter sent
Well,
to you.
then in response to that, I'd say the heading could include TPZ and the WPCA instead of making it a CC for them. I'm just trying to keep it simple and straightforward.
I mean, I'd ask even a broader question. Why were we asked to weigh in on something around aesthetic versus actual function as it relates to stormwater management?
Emma, my conversation with Emmeline had nothing to do with aesthetics.
Oh.
It had to do with planning and zoning approval, because apparently there are some comments that she has gotten from the public about the topic.
About how it looks at,
No, about something about another easement or something.
Oh, so we're weighing in on the need to keep this pump station operational and working and well-maintained. That's what we're weighing in on.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And Chuck's suggesting that we roll into that a comment on the aesthetics.
Correct.
Sorry, okay.
My thoughts on it is, we absolutely have the right, if not the obligation, to weigh in on the functionality, and it certainly seems like it's in the interests of this panel to advance the functionality of it. I don't know where we have the jurisdiction to comment on the aesthetics, and I'm not comfortable supporting that. If an individual member of the firm wants to comment on it on their own and submit, obviously that's within their rights, but I don't see where it falls on the purview of this panel as a board to comment on the aesthetics.
If I could respond to that? If you look at section 2585 of the statute, which is incorporated into our local ordinance, it says such board shall have the authority within the limits of appropriations by the municipality to plan, lay out, acquire, construct, reconstruct, repair, maintain, and it goes on, a flood flood prevention, climate acquisition, or erosion control system. So I would say that, yes, we do.
That's
It's
the operational,
overall-
that's the operational functions. I don't hear anything in there that addresses the aesthetics.
Well, it's the words construct, reconstruct, repair, maintain, all of those could involve aesthetics. I mean, I don't want to beat this to death, but I think we have the authority, in fact, the obligation, to look at a project in its totality.
I would comment that the pump station is not a flood or erosion control structure. That's what our.
I think maybe Keith, you've got a microphone.
You had your computer on?
Can you turn the volume off?
I have it all.
Mute,
mic-
that's muted.
All right, let's try this again. All
There
right.
we go. We're good.
Sorry.
No worries. Okay, any other discussion on this? From the, I'm with Greg. I think it's a slippery slope. I worry about people coming to us about other items and telling us about structures that we may need to put in that we can't do anything aesthetically, and it opens us up to precedent having commented on it fitting in with the look and feel of the neighborhood. So I don't think it falls under construction. I think it's more about fit to the neighborhood is everything I've read. So I'm happy to weigh in on the operation of it as it, with it being an absolute necessity to the flood and erosion and stormwater management and control. But I don't feel comfortable talking about its how it is aesthetically working with the neighborhood. I don't think that's why we're here. Anybody else have an opinion on that?
Okay, so I'll make the motion that the letter to planning and zoning as I drafted be approved by this board, and I will forward it to planning and zoning tomorrow. That's my.
When I'm looking at the letter that you drafted, it talks about, is that the one that says mimicking a lighthouse?
No, sir.
Oh,
That's the letter to WPCA. The letter I'm proposing we approve is the letter I drafted to the Town Planning and Zoning Commission.
okay. I have to find that letter then. Okay.
You want me to read through it?
No, it's fine. I'll pull it up and, but I'm fine with the submission of the letter if it focuses on the functionality and the need for it.
So,
John, to be clear, the WPCA letter goes away. That it's not a factor any longer.
No, it can be another item that we discuss. If we want to keep the two letters separate, which I submit is the cleaner way to do it. If we're going to comment on the aesthetics.
Right.
Now, I myself, if we do decide on that, I'm going to abstain from a vote on that. Because I have strong feelings about the value that Getty's brought to the table with that whole thing he did, but.
so the budget for this work, where does it come from? It's unbudgeted.
WPCA,
Do they have the money
yes,
approved?
yes.
Do we know how much it's costing? 1.7 million is
Doesn't
that
matter.
what the number? There was
Yeah,
some number
it's a
around
lot
that.
of money.
No, I'm just asking, like, do we know?
2018, so I doubt it's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was 2018 estimate of 1.7 million, and I think, I'm just trying to understand how much is the budget.
What I read in there, what I read in that plan, it was $2017 over a 15-year planning window. So they adjusted it for inflation over a 15-year planning window is what I read in that report.
I don't think we're here to comment on their budget at all.
But like, if you are saying a project should be done, should we know how much it will cost?
We're not saying that the project should be done. We're supporting the fact that the project is going to be made compliant with the current FEMA flood regulations. I mean,
Yeah, I think that's all you got to say. I mean, you know, the pump station is required in order to maintain compliance. It's required to achieve some of the things we want to achieve down there. You know, when it ends up costing them, they're going to have to get those approvals. I understand the question, Manish, but I'm just wondering, you know, what it is we want to weigh in on.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think all I'm asking is like, I think we have a master plan in motion. We have other activities going on.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a visibility that we have as to how much money we are going to spend altogether in flood prevention activities in this town? Do we have that visibility, or should we have, or should we not? I mean, if it's not under purview,
I think it's going to be.
all right, we're going to weigh away from the topic on the table, guys.
so I think if all our purview is that we just say yes, do it, then that's fine. Then I'm okay with that. But I think if we don't have any say in the budget or cost of activities, then that's fine. I'm just asking a question.
Yep, that's fair.
I have a question. There's a motion on the floor right now.
I believe there's a motion on the floor to approve the letter to the Planning and Zoning Commission as the draft that I did and submitted. There's no second yet.
Second.
Thank you, Greg. Any other discussion on it? Okay, well, seeing none, why don't we take it to a vote to, so all in favor of sending the letter as drafted? Okay. It's been approved. Thank you for drafting it, Dick. Thanks for bringing it as an agenda item.
Okay, now for the second part, I will bring to your attention the letter to WPCA.
Okay,
And that talks about the aesthetics. And it recognizes, I just say, during our conversation on deciding the topic of the structure's appearance came up. While it does not affect the performance, members felt we should weigh in on the architecture. It should mimic a lighthouse, or it should mimic the neighboring residential design. And then I just put in some random thoughts I had looking at the box. It still looks like a box on stilts to me. So I said that, and then we could do this stuff, or we could eliminate everything, or whatever you guys want to do. So,
okay. So, Dick, do you want to make a motion to
I'm actually, I just don't think this is right for us to tell them what to do. It's up to the individual neighbors. I think I wrote them a letter way back when about the appearance as a private citizen. People can do that if they want. So I would like someone else to make a motion on this.
Does anybody feel compelled to make a motion to adopt this letter and send it to the WPCA?
I can't support that.
Perhaps the motion should be that the letter not be sent to the WP.
Go ahead. Greg, do you want to make a motion to not send this drafted letter as submitted?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay. It's been seconded. Did I hear someone second it?
I second.
Sorry. Thank you. Sorry. All right. So we've agreed that, any other discussion on it? All in favor?
This is to not send it.
To not send it.
Okay.
We hate to throw away your pros, but
No, there's no, There's no pride of authorship here. I'm just trying,
Now,
just
listen,
trying to contribute.
you're very good. All right. I'm glad we got through those. That's good. Let me get my agenda up here. This is hard to do. Mr. Hurley is there. So I'm thinking that we're going to move to item number 3 around an update on the 2026 Master Flood Mitigation and Resilience Plan.
Okay. Just want to give everybody an update. Thursday, this past Thursday, the town had submitted with the FIRB, actually Becky submitted it on my behalf as well, the master plan for coastal illustrations. Race was going to do illustrations, site-specific renderings of a before and after, and the 5 situations, or you could kind of call them renderings, were going to be 2 for town hall, where one would show a stone-faced wall along the big field here in the back, and Sullivan Hall, Independence Hall, and the museum parking lot. The other section would show either deployables or stop logs or some sort of tiger dam with some sort of temporary structure that would hold back some of the water. So we'll have both visuals on that for the town hall. The next visual was showing the area by Penfield Pavilion, and it would include a raised road in front of Penfield, maybe 2 to 3 feet, with a wall on the south street side, and a deployable entrance. Again, could be various ones depending on what the consultant's recommending there. Ideally stop logs, or like I said, deployables, tiger dams, whatever they might be. And that would be for Penfield. The next site would be Riverside Drive, similar to the area that they just replaced those pipes, the culverts there. There's already a concrete head wall that's at elevation 12, but the area around it doesn't have it. And so this visual would show that. It would show the existing berm that's there now, a higher berm, and it would show an existing berm with a stone-faced wall on one side, and another would be to meet the 12-foot elevation that FIRB has recommended in the past for that Riverside Drive. Right now, the elevations probably vary somewhere from 7.5 to 9, with the exception of that. And that's why if you drive by Riverside Drive, that head wall looks like it's sticking up 3 feet. Well, that gives it to the elevation 12, just to give you an idea of the elevations that would be needed for that. The next location, we were battling back and forth, but it was decided to show an illustration on raising Reef Road, because that would serve as an emergency or an evacuation route. We had picked Reef Road. I was kind of leaning towards the Beach Road, but the reason why we picked Reef Road is that it would be more likely to get funding because it serves the critical facilities. We did have a meeting with DEEP, and when they mentioned supporting some of these scenarios or illustrations, they mentioned that their goal would be to approve for critical facilities and not necessarily for residential areas, which obviously to a homeowner is not good news, but they're kind of staying with that mentality, unfortunately, for areas of right near the beach or near a riverine area, that they're concentrating more on protecting critical facilities. And so that's why we picked Reef Road, figuring it had a better chance of getting approval than Beach Road.
I think Reef Road was also evacuation route for us.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
think
that was,
that's the
yeah.
main one. That's the one that's been designated. I believe Beach Road probably is as well. But you have to get to, if you live on the peninsula side of the dead end, the Fairfield Beach Road, or you live in Reef Road, you have to then try to get over to Beach Road. And like I said before, for any grant possibilities or expedited permits, although I think that would be easier to construct because there's fewer houses, a lot more room, right of way. Reef Road being that it's near the treatment plant, it's near the DPW garage, the animal shelter, some other, yeah. So that's why we picked that. So they will now develop those illustrations, and then they'll, I assume, send them back to us. And they're still working on the master plan. And I believe, I don't have the date in front of me, but I can certainly get it if anyone's interested. There's a date in September that is scheduled right now currently for the public meeting.
17th.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's a Thursday, if I recall. September 17th.
Thursday.
Yeah. I think 6:30 is the time that they're aiming for, something like that. So that's the update on the master plan for the latest part.
Now, we have a commitment to get comments on inland stuff back to Weston and Sampson somewhere here soon. As-
24th maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't go back and look at it, but Becky left us homework as she got on her vacation boat to make comments on something or other. And I have not gone back and digested that recently, so I'm not conversant with the detail of that. But we owe our comments on inland stuff.
And they may owe us their what I'm going to call preliminary final of the inland, and then we can, yeah, they're giving us basically a week to comment on it, if I recall.
So, but I had a quick question on that one. So there, in one of the option that Becky said, there was a plan to build a water storage tank or something underneath the structure.
I haven't seen that one yet, so.
Okay, so I was just curious, what was the purpose of that? How that would be used?
Again, I'm assuming for a storage tank, usually they're very low volume unless they're what we call underground detention, like galleries or structures that have holes in them, similar to dry wells, or sometimes they're called rechargers if anyone's built a house in the last 10 years or so. And then therefore you can take advantage of soil and gravel, and you get a lot more storage underground than you would above ground, but they're expensive, and you still need to have, control a certain amount of volume.
So this was the one.
Sure.
Underground storage. Do you know what the purpose of that is?
That there, because it's at the underpass. And what I can tell you on that is that we have scheduled a meeting with the fire department, police department, to talk about some of the underpasses as well.
Is that from Weston and Sampson's?
Yeah, this is
or
what
something?
Becky said. This is the one that we
Yeah,
were
I-
supposed to comment on.
Yeah, I have not read that yet. I
Yeah.
have not read that yet, so I don't want to comment. But on that one there, I think what they were doing is if there were to be some sort of deployable or some sort of wall that would block the underpass, it's still going to get water. And so therefore, they were thinking of maybe storing it somehow underground. All I could say is for the one at North Benson, certainly they hit ledge. And so I don't know how practical that would be. But again, these are concepts that, for the most part, probably 10 to 20% of design without any testing or anything like that. And these are just ideas where if it seemed feasible to us, then long-term or.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to understand, like,
Yeah,
so
no,
the
yeah,
idea will be
exactly.
water will come here and it will evaporate at some point. There's no outlet of it.
Well, that's why the storage is to make them more passable
Right,
and
yeah.
contain that water.
And then it will just.
Right, yeah.
be
If you
absorbed.
divert the water, now you only have to worry about a little bit of water getting into the underpasses, if you're able to divert the water. If not, you're getting all that runoff from 95 Round Hill Road all the way down, that the area shown there, I think it's just going to be a bathtub, to be
If
honest.
you're in a
with you.
bathtub, putting a hole in the ground
Yeah.
isn't the answer.
But that's, yeah, we have to look at it a little bit further, and that would be one of the comments that we would, just like you had mentioned before, of, is this looking to take away all the water, or does this make the assumption that you've diverted the water and now we're only really collecting the bowl water to keep it off the road, or something like that? Or just say, you know what, if we have to narrow down 30, whatever areas down to 10, or do its priority, then that one would probably get shifted away, because in my opinion, just looking at it rather quickly, it doesn't seem feasible. But again, we're welcoming, and that's what part of this is welcoming some ideas that we may not have considered in the past. Thanks for pointing
You have
that
the
out.
date that Becky sent that
Yeah.
around, because I'll go back and look at that and resend it to everybody, because I'm pretty sure we owe comments.
Yeah, it was sent on the 14th, and
That would be Friday, okay.
yeah, so it was sent on Friday. It was about 10 slides, and each of them had a space for comments where I think it was her she didn't put her initials, but my sense is these are her comments in here, and she was looking for us to review this and add comments to it. And so,
And by when, and get it to who?
it did not say by when. It just said work plan with verb comments August 18th. So I think she was hoping we were going to go through this during the meeting and add comments to it. And
I don't think we have time to do that. I think that we'll take that.
Not if a lot of people have it.
We'll individually take that.
But
We'll individually take that offline and feed our comments to.
I agree, for some reason, somebody mentioned like the August 24th, which is I think a Monday. It's popping in my head as a deadline
Yeah,
or whatever,
okay.
so
We need to-
we would
we need
probably
to
have to
get
get
on
it by the end of the week, and then I can digest the comments and try to incorporate them into one. Because one of the things that I did the last time, and they seem to be confused, is when I give them all the comments and all different, they prefer one set of comments. So that's what we'll try to do on these, if it's possible.
Well, it says here, Friday, in our minutes from last month,
Sure.
it says Friday, August 7th, comments to Weston and Sampson on inland strategies. Monday, August 24th, meeting materials for the Board of Selectmen meeting. So I think that meant that verb would get those meeting materials so we could review them ahead of the Board of Selectmen meeting on the 2nd. And then the public meeting was on the 17th. But this Friday, August 7th, as a deadline to getting comments to Weston and Sampson is what is listed in our minutes from last month. But we received these slides on the 14th. I still agree with Dick. We don't have the time to do this here. We should post it someplace centrally, and people should go in and make comment on it, so we don't have to sit here and collate comments and get this back to Weston and Sampson.
Yeah, because I think that would probably take well over an hour, to be honest with you, that alone.
Okay, we'll do that. I will send around some kind of game plan tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a Google Drive or a shared drive where we can put one document and everybody can add their comments to it, that would be the best way to
It's
do
on
it.
the Google Drive. She put it on the Google
Put it
Drive.
on the Google
Yeah.
Drive, okay.
Okay, excellent. All right, Bill, anything else on the resiliency plan?
No, other than that, as I said, we're moving along, and as I said, the coastal illustrations are a big part of it. And then, as you noticed from here, that these inland concepts will be critical as well. And then we're waiting for them to put all that information together. Becky had put together, but like sort of a table of contents for the master plan. I have seen that. I don't know if anyone else has or not, but basically it was, having all the plans and past studies like in an appendix, and having, again.
That has gone to Weston and Sampson, right?
I have to double check my emails and I may have to find out if they, she had sent it to me. And unfortunately, on Friday and Monday and until about an hour ago, I was unable to send out emails. But now I can, so. What happens is when someone gives me a 40 megabyte video of a flooding situation that I haven't opened, then it kind of starts clogging up my mailbox. So,
All right. Well, I mean, I think I'd like to say I think the last two interactions so far on the plan have been two of our best so far, and I feel that progress you're talking about, Bill. So that was a long meeting in July, but I think it was good, and I think the conversation with Deep was equally as beneficial. I feel like it's taking form, and then Becky sending in some of the things she wants attached and the formatting, so this can be an actionable plan that we can use to go out and prioritize the funding. I think we're finally, I feel like, moving in that direction. So thank you for your help on that.
thank you, you're welcome.
If we can move to the next item,
Bill.
status of
Don't go.
still Bill. I
thought I was done.
I was saying nice stuff, Bill, but you can't go yet.
Yeah.
One more thing. Status of projects per activities list with an update on the detention projects at Fairchild Wheeler and Tunx's Hill. So anything on so those two projects or any other projects on the activities list that you have any updates for us on, Bill?
Well, right now, the final contracts have still not yet been signed. So we are still working on that diligently. That's all I can say. Once they get signed, they'll be granted the notice to proceed and go from there. One of the things, just in case anybody from the public's listening, is when we give them the notice to proceed, they still have about anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, depending on if it's Tunxus or Fairchild Wheeler, of getting paperwork, approved plans, means and method, even though we have all the approvals, but it's kind of like a confirmation that they have to send to various agencies.
Tell Army Corps that they're starting work on
Exactly,
the job or
exactly.
something like that.
So it won't be until
September
mid-September or very early October, we actually start seeing construction vehicles. We're still hoping for, like you said, mid-September and September 28th, where we can, by memorandum of understanding with Bridgeport, start. We can't even start construction for the golf course one until September 28th.
Okay.
That's where we stand.
All right, so we got contractual work to do, and we're trying to get it done so that it's in place and we're ready to have construction vehicles there when we have the ability to get on site per the MOU.
Right, and then again, the board of selectmen approved the contract as it was. If they're just worried about minor tweaks and whatever, and that's what's holding it up, that should be no problem. But if it's something major, then we might even have to go back to the board of selectmen. But hopefully, that's not the case. We're not really expecting that. But until everything gets signed, you just never know. So that's where we stand.
Okay. And that's on both sites. Okay. Anything else on the projects list that we need to talk about?
I think that's all that's really going on, right?
For the main part, yeah. Obviously, we're investigating a lot of flooding areas that happened from the previous storms that we had 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we're working on other aspects of the Rooster River project as well, soil, sediment removal, and some of the other ones. Just taking time. As I said, our number one priority has been the detention ponds.
Did you mention that you're going to have a meeting with the fire department about the underpass?
Yeah.
What's the scope of that?
Well, I just read that email today where Frank Batiste, Director of Public Works, wants to get together with the police and fire department and talk about the underpasses and whether, we can.
Okay, since
Gates and stuff like that.
since flood and erosion was instrumental in participating in the ACOM study for that whole thing, might we be invited to that meeting?
I will
Should I
check, I'll
ask
check
Frank?
with, yeah, I'll check
I will-
with Frank. The
okay.
only reason why I
I
say
will
that
ask
is it's
Frank.
very preliminary.
I will ask Frank. That's it.
So, very preliminary.
Is he back from vacation? Is he back?
Yeah,
from
he's
vacation?
back today.
Okay.
Okay, and so are we, on those underpasses, I saw a lot of email back and forth about it. Are we floating around ideas? And that's kind of what the next step is, to start evaluating some of those possible ideas?
I believe so. And as I said, if, I would certainly think before we got too far, you guys would be involved and said, this is the first time where all three parties are getting together to talk about the underpasses.
It
So,
would be better to be involved from the beginning, is my personal opinion.
I'll relay
I
that
will
to the
speak with
director.
Frank tomorrow.
Okay, great.
Right.
Just to throw my 2 cents in, I'm definitely in favor of active alerts, simply because if you put in a static display of flood elevations and whatever and warnings, people drive by them every single day. They just basically filter them out, and they don't pay attention when they should. A public safety issue, some sort of active alert, even if it's just an elevation sensor and triggering some flashing lights, is preferable to any sort of permanent static display, is my general thought at this point.
And the meeting could be involved in that in September, the Board of Finance, and so to fund these, might
Yeah,
be part of the
obviously.
discussion, obviously, yep.
Interesting. Okay.
A quick question, do you know where we are on the sensors, or how far away that is that we were offered?
Yes, Circla,
Yeah, Dick's working on.
John Trzynski has a potential source to getting some sensors. I'm waiting for one last document before I send my letter to John Trzynski.
And, yeah, I know, refresh my memory on that document. I know it's Tonsis, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And what's the document you're looking for? Seriously?
The maintenance plan. The maintenance plan that the Army Corps said we had to do that and send them reports. Every time there's a storm, we have to send the Army Corps a report. So those sensors might be very helpful.
Yep.
For that.
I plan on, hopefully, I should be getting that tomorrow to you. I was hoping today, but I couldn't.
You're gonna bring me a present?
That would have been my goal, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Well, Keith Bradley, member of the public here, has his hand raised.
Hi.
Hi.
I'd like to, and I'm not sure how to do this correctly. It may have to go through one of the people on the board. We had another rain bomb. Bill, you requested the large megabytes of film, and I sent you, which demonstrates clearly that the significant amount of flooding comes from the intersection of Little Island Drive with Route 59. We have been over this about how to put the water into the Owen Fish Park. I've answered the questions and pieces that are at issue of how to do that. And I'm going to just cut to the chase. I have other slides. If anybody has any questions about whether this is real or not, I have plenty of data to show that. This actually was a recommendation of the 2019 Millone and McBroom report, was to have Owen Fish Park as a detention site. I can read them, or I can put them up on the board here. What's your pleasure?
Well, we did not put that as a topic on the agenda because yes, there was another rain bomb. Yes, there was more flooding. Thank you for the videos that you took. They were, to me personally, very helpful to see where the water was flowing. And I don't think there's anything new to discuss on that.
Then I would be a hope that there would be that this could be raised under new business by one of the board members.
That's probably the appropriate place to do it. Okay.
Good night. While we're here, we have another member of the public. Could you please give us your name and address?
Charles Vassis, 15 Crane.
15 Craig
Crane.
Charles.
Vassis, V-A-S-A-S.
Thank you.
So let's move down the agenda then, I guess. And Keith, we can pull that in as a matter of the new business. Okay. But we probably don't have to go through the whole thing again. We just have somebody, tee it up and enter it into the record. Why don't we get an update on item 5 on Manish and the committee on the evaluations?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much dead in the water, if I can say that on this one. There is no data that shows which houses are elevated and which aren't. The work that the intern did was inaccurate and incomplete. I think I have tried to get some data from Bill on the work that Weston Sampson did in terms of the blue spots and the flooding areas that I could share with Mark Hoover, and perhaps he could help us identify which properties will get flooded and which ones are elevated or not. He said there is some technology that he has. So I haven't received that data yet, so I don't know how to make progress in this. I need help from the committee if there's anything else I can do.
And when I put together the agenda, I don't want to lose sight of this because
Yes.
this is an important part of the master plan. Hopefully, we'll get something to gel
Right.
before the master plan is issued. So that's why.
No, I agree, it should be. It's just, I don't know how to make progress on
I
this.
understand.
And if there's anybody has any suggestion on how we can identify which houses will get damaged, which properties will get damaged in case of flooding, then I think we can tie it to the tax data to see what the impact to the town will be. Short of that, the only other way to assume is like, we say 80% or 60% of the houses will be damaged, or make some assumption like that, different scenarios, and then calculate some number.
All right, good.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to lose sight of it because I think it's important. I don't know that anything that they're doing with the new GIS resource or the capability there will help down the line, but that might be some time from now. And I don't know if there's any of the data that we got from the consultants around the blue spot data or any of the modeling would help with any of that either. If you were able to isolate it at certain parts of certain streets and have to compile all that data, then take it to the tax data, that to me seems like a very large and difficult task.
You know what, I have a contact in Deep, I could reach out, they may have received some sort of reporting from FEMA for Sandy. And they may have some, they may not, but I've got somebody I could reach out to see if they have a list of affected properties.
Okay.
It's a good start, if they've got it, that would be a good start.
If they could tell us what all houses got elevated, and then we can say the rest of it probably did. And
Or they could, even if they tell us
Yeah.
the ones that were substantially damaged,
Right.
if they're occupied, they have to have been elevated.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that offer, Greg, and maybe that'll get us, moving forward again. Any other comments on this agenda item? All right, then we're going to come back to new business. And so we have the flooding over on Route 59 has been raised by Keith Bradley as a item of new business per se, under the new business heading, but not something new we've been talking about. And we'd like to confirm that the materials that Keith has sent and has brought are entered into the record as detailed descriptions and video and photos of those areas in those neighborhoods that were significantly impacted by the most recent the most recent rain bombs, not just bomb. Is there any other comment there, Keith, that we want to include as we raise this?
Well, I share my screen if that's agreeable to you. Or I can just talk it out. How do you want to do it?
Well,
Whatever you'd like.
haven't we all seen that? I think.
No. You have
This is your PowerPoint. This is your PowerPoint.
Yeah, that I sent to you, but it's not been entered into the record.
We sent it around to the whole board, I thought. No?
I'm not going to go through the whole thing, that's for sure. But there have been objections in the past that have been answered since the original was presented probably 3 years ago for why box walls or some deployable such as that is a potentially answer. And I'd like to see action moved on that as opposed to, wow, it's a real problem.
Did Wes and Sampson identify that area as a
Did
flood-prone
you,
area?
did you
or-
see, did I send that around to the board? Did you see that PowerPoint presentation?
Actually, I've seen.
Oh, you were on the ground floor.
Yeah,
No, because there was a problem with opening the documents, and we had to get permissions and all that kind of stuff. But eventually, Becky sent around a version that was readily openable by me, and I thought that Becky or I sent that around to the whole board.
I don't know if I ever opened it or got it open, but maybe she.
Just for clarification, I'd like to net this just in simple terms. You've I think on the 12th, you agreed that we can go ahead and purchase some box walls. And that was on.
I agreed that we could purchase box walls?
You put it in writing.
Where was I gonna get the money from?
We had this is, yeah, so let me, this was the 10th. And you finally look at Keith's slide deck. Here, I'll just show you your correspondence. And this went out to everybody because, my primary focus is Stratfield, and that's what I've been pretty much immersed in. And it seemed like such a simple solution. And there are objections with the state of Connecticut not acknowledging flooding on Stratfield Road, which is happening. I've seen it. I live there. And then there are concerns with the town. But if you look at, and you said, well, to the entire committee.
All right, so yeah, I'm in favor of purchasing box walls, which I clearly say here. But you also have to read my last paragraph.
Okay.
My problem is constituting the RFRT with clear decision rules for when to deploy.
100%.
Until that is in place, it makes little sense to me to make the investment. So it was conditional.
To address that, if I might,
Yeah.
I don't know how to get my thing up on the screen, so I'll just.
Do you have a share screen?
I do have a share screen, but I don't know what, it doesn't bring me to sharing the screen. Tell me how to do it. Do I just hit that? That's what I want to share.
Where is the share screen?
There it is.
Something.
Okay.
Yep. There we go. I would like to make, I think Peter and Dick's points are very well taken, that while I have put together a draft of a flow chart that I've got to find again, have looked to answer each and every one of the objections that have been raised here over time and by other people from the town. I believe I've done that, and if you need to get those informations, I have them here. I'm happy to do it up again. We need to move forward. And to move forward, I would think Dick's point is exactly correct. This should be done in coordination with and we need to coordinate with the town's emergency management team. For that, we need to invite a representative of NOAC, which is box wall folks, to Fairfield to demo them. We know that when the Tiger Dam people came in here. We saw the value of those specifically. And that's what's driven the deployable and that piece of the potential deployables in the town. The DOT apparently doesn't think that there is flooding on Route 59. I have direct evidence of A, how much it was, and B, that it's a definite hazard, and that we have blocked, the town of Fairfield has blocked Route 59 in the past during these rain squalls. Rain bombs. They did not do that this time. And you had cars driving through flood waters, and that would be something we should be talking to them about. Recruiting for RFRT. So we've gone through the list of who doesn't want to do it or can't do it. Horrific. The volunteer fire model is a viable model that I believe can be implemented, indeed, and walking around after this event, looking that we need 25 people who would say that they would be part of this group that would be deploying these. I literally talked to 20 people, and I got 8 people who said they would do this. Haven't even gone up and down the street yet. I don't doubt that it would be very acceptable if we had an effort to recruit. Are there any other objections to why this should not be moved forward as opposed to, wow, yeah, it's sitting out there? Because I'll answer any objections that you have or try to.
One of my big concerns, and I'm brand new to this, I'm not familiar, I'm completely foreign to all the policies and procedures of being on a public board, was I'm on the public distribution list for Fairfield, for the Stratfield Association, and the amount of public anger and outrage, and it's happened again. Why isn't anybody doing anything about it? It was almost like I'm only saying this here in our group, and I have no opinion. I have no opinion, and so, but here, I'm just expressing concerns that there's a lot of upset people in the Stratfield section of town who are upset that nobody's doing anything for them, and so, and there's emails upon emails that are in my inbox because I'm on this public group now, and I'm like, so who am I working for? I'm obviously working with each of you, working with Bill and Keith, but who am I working for? Am I working for the taxpayers, or am I working for the town, or Christine, or so who am I working for? And I think I'm working for the taxpayer, trying to represent the taxpayers' interests. And so my interests here are just, what's good for the town and what's good for the taxpayers. And I'm like, and now I'm seeing a kind of a groundswell of upset taxpayers. And I'm like, I didn't respond to any of this. I have no public-facing.
Well, the first thing that's going on is that the town has spent way too long getting the ducks in a row, but the town has now agreed to spend, what's the number, Bill, for Fairchild Willow? $2 million?
More than that.
Okay.
30-something.
So $3.5 million to build the detention pond at Fairchild Wheeler. And I know Mr. Bradley thinks that's going to be marginally effective. But if we can take that surcharge off of the existing underground storm sewer conveyance system, it will help the Bennett Bond area. Bill, is that a fair statement?
That's true.
Okay. Because Bill and I agree on that, so it must be.
Can I respond?
Yeah.
Bill, when we first were talking about this, and you said that the mitigation from Fairchild Wheeler to that area was going to be somewhere, and it's been mentioned and it's been written down, 10 to 30%. So the chance that it could be only 10% leaves 90% flooding versus 70, maybe 70% flooding. And the only way we're going to know whether that's effective enough is to wait for another rain bomb and say, wow, it wasn't effective enough. Or, sorry, just to finish, or the other option is, let's put everything we can together that makes sense, that is relatively inexpensive. We're talking $20,000 for hardware for this versus $4.1 million for the two permanent structures. Let's get everything we possibly can put together so that we have every chance that we can mitigate way more than 10 to 30%. Because that was the very first time you ever came to my area and you sat down in front of my house and said, you know what, we try to mitigate this stuff, we're only getting 10 to 30% out of it.
Again, what I could tell you is it's going to hold back millions of gallons of water that would have come down. I said 10 to 30% as a ballpark figure. It could be 40, but I don't want, if I say 40 and it is only 10 or 15%, I didn't want. So I'm just saying, no matter what, it's definitely holding back that amount of water, millions of gallons. I forget the number, but it was several acre feet of water. It's definitely gonna, because that's what you have to do. You can't put the water somewhere else without impacting other people. So the only thing we can do is push it back.
That night, you've said that, and that's been brought forward a number of times in this venue. That you do the do no harm argument.
Yes, that's correct.
Right, the do no harm argument. Give me a second. Let me just pop it up here.
Well, like if we have so much pain in the community in a particular area, why not add it to the master plan and see what we want to do about it?
Manish, we're doing something.
No.
We're spending $3 million.
I'm talking about this particular problem. I'm not talking about in general problem. I don't think you need to get upset about that.
Okay.
Let me, if I can, to answer the problem that was brought up, right, is that this going to do harm? The potential that it could do harm is to basically 10 condos that are facing into Owen Fish Pond, right? The Millone and McCrone report basically said that that this was recommended, right? They recommended just to finish, that they recommended using Owen Fish Park as a detention site. Sorry, you have my cheat sheet there, Peter. Oh, sorry. You get the part that says for that, right? So 53. Right, what they said is that 63% storage volume for a 10-year storm. You have the map, which I forget how to get it up here now. I apologize. How do I do that? Can't do that. Never mind.
Keith, if you
So,
don't
so
mind-
to finish, what they said was that the issue has been brought up previously, that, we have to do soil studies and the rest. That's already been done from the Millone and McCrone report. They say no impacts on private property. Effective for flood mitigation? Yes. And I'm sorry that I can't get the map up here that I wanted to. But what the map shows is they actually, when they did this report, they didn't understand where the water was coming from. They thought it was coming from Owen Fish Pond. It's not. It's coming from Little Island Drive, and I have the pictures to prove it, and you know that those pictures are there, right? That's where the water's coming from. And in order to move that water away, we shouldn't be waiting for the next rain bomb to find out whether it's a 10% or less, or it's 40% or more. Though I've never heard the term 40% before. I've only heard 30%. Fair, right? We don't know. And we're not going to know until we have another flood bomb. And then we can go, oh, my
Keith,
gosh, we should have done it.
We're just beating this horse. The
So I
horse is
will,
not dead.
this
The
is,
horse
this
is
is
in
what I
the
would,
pasture.
this is what I'm asking for this, that we make a movement on this with the recommendation of the board, that we move forward in moving this agenda forward.
Okay, thank you. Your comments have been duly noted. I will go back and make sure that the entire board has the advantage of seeing your PowerPoint presentation, the latest one with the embedded videos and pictures.
If I may, in 2019, that's the report, just like this master plan and concepts, Manish, that you had showed, you can look at that, if that was a final, or that was in the report, oh, look at, there's a detention area. That was without any testing, without any other information. In 2021, 2022, we did testing. The groundwater is only not even 12 to 18 inches below ground. The design engineer, the same one who did that report, later on said that, and that's why you haven't seen any plans lately on Owen Fish Park, is because he said it was not viable. After further information that they've obtained, some of the field testing that we did, some of the further analysis, they haven't suggested that. And the same person who wrote the report then said, we're going to have to look for other alternatives and try to figure out. They had then tried underground detention. That didn't seem to work. The other thing too is, right, wrong, or indifferent, but there is a Parks and Recreation that I did present the Owen Fish detention pond plan to in the beginning, and there was a no decision on it. So
Don't you flood my ball field.
So I'm just saying, there's some groups that are not necessarily in favor of this type of project. And that's why the Tungus Hill one is actually in the woods rather than on the field.
Bill, can I ask a
So,
question?
sure.
At the time of the 2019 report, was Tungus Hill and the golf course?
That was part of
Contemplated?
Yeah, those were the
Yeah,
seven,
that was part of it.
the 2018 report, or 19 report, whatever it was, had 7 locations. And unfortunately, 2 of them were, like within the first 6 months, taken out because they were totally ineffective. It would be less than a 1% benefit, and they would have been, $1 million. And so those 2 were immediately wiped out. We are still working on Owen Fish, and we're coming up with ideas. And I actually do agree with Keith of, we gotta do something sooner than later. Absolutely. And so, we're still working at it. We're trying to get it, and it's the other thing I would say is on this particular storm, and I have not seen this video, so I will look at it. Keith did send it to me. I just haven't had a chance to look at it. And on this particular, it looks like, what are we looking at right there, Keith? if you don't mind?
So this is Route 59 here,
Which
right?
is going to be very valuable when it comes to arguments. to-
Looking south, looking south.
South. There is no water north. This is the entrance to Owen Fish Park. There is no water coming from north of here on 59, none. I stood there. The water going into to the Rooster River comes from here, which is this is the moving directly into the Rooster River, across the culverts. If Park and Recreations is concerned that this is going to be that we're going to hurt the park, this is down the third base line. You could have played baseball there 48 hours after it was dry, right? So that argument doesn't hold water. If you want to see where it's coming from, here's where it's coming from, right? There's Little Allen Drive. And I would offer to the people at at DOT that say that there's no flooding. Well, I don't know. I stood there and I watched as this water with great force moved across Route 59. So that was pushing this white car, towards oncoming traffic that was going down Route 59. So the potential for there being a crash from this, trying to go through this floodwater, which goes from the entrance, at least from the entrance of Owen Fish Park, all the way down to Fairfield Woods Road, the chance of going through that floodwater and there being a significant accident was really great, right? So here's where the water's coming from. It's lots of it, and here's where you could put it, because look at this. That's Owen Fish Park. That is dry. There is no water. There are no floodwaters for at least 3/4, if no, there's probably about 90% of Owen Fish Park has no water. If we look, and I'll apologize, I'm just going back to number 52. What this proposal, what the prior looked at was detention to the south area of Owen Fish Park, right? Here's where it actually floods. It floods without doing nothing. This all floods and it goes directly into the Rooster River right there. This area does not flood at all. And truth to tell, what Millone and Macron, I can never say it right, Backbroom report said was that that Owen Fish Park had is basically a lawn, right? It's just a ball field. And all you have to do is hold this water literally for 20 minutes, because this is what the Rooster River looks like 20 minutes after the rain stops. It's controlled, right? The Rooster River is not overflowing at this point, 20 minutes in. So what I'm proposing is that we put, and the physics of this is how to do this is, I think is evident, right? But has to be, you got to get the people who know about this stuff, like the people from the, NOAC, the Boxwell people. We want to put the water here, right, along this north edge. And I don't care if it flows right across the top of it. It's going to take way more than 20 minutes. It's going to soak into the ground. It's going to soak into the groundwater. It's going to take way more than 20 minutes to get into the Rooster River over here. It's going to take a day.
But Keith, one question, is that drier? The reason why it's dry, it's higher. It could be 3 to 5 foot higher. So how do you get the water that's popping out on Route 59 to go uphill to 5 feet?
Real simple.
Okay,
real
I'm
simple.
listening. Yep.
The real simple way is you use box walls, right? You line the area with box walls. Whoops, number.
And the only other
You
thing.
put the, sorry to answer, you asked the question, I'll answer it. You put the box wall here so that the gusher is done here and doesn't go through the backyards here and out into 59. We've gone over this, we walked the site. You keep it all in Bennett. It goes down, it will naturally come follow Bernoulli's law. It will go down following the path of least resistance in the middle range. It will move down through here. We want it to go into Owen Fish Park. I think you actually have to have more than 60 feet. You have to get it, but you're probably going to have some more than that, but not a lot more. Where you want it to go, right, is you're building basically a temporary dam that goes along here, and wherever you want to stop that dam, that's where the water is going to flow into Owen Fish Park. I suggest that you probably do it somewhere around first base, right? You do it around first base because that water is flowing at high speed. That's going to continue this way. Though if you look and you walk on that macadam that I would suggest you want it to go down, it is not 3 to 5 feet higher than Little Island Drive. It's a straight shot. That's not 3 feet higher, And even if it was, it doesn't matter. As long as you're holding the water back for 20 minutes. And I suggest.
All right, can we move on? Can we
I
move on?
suggest that we move forward with this as not something that we're gonna put off till tomorrow, because tomorrow is gonna be another rain bomb. And that's been said for the last at least 3 years here.
We should investigate the box walls. I just, as I said, I have certain things, concerns about it and.
What are those concerns? And let me try and answer them.
Elevations. The other was.
What was the elevation concern?
The elevation concern is if you block water here, water will start ponding back.
That's-
It will slowly go here. So your first 5 feet of your box walls is gonna just hold the water back just so the water could get here. Unless you excavate. If you excavate.
No, you don't have to excavate, just hold the water, it's gonna flow along the box walls. It's gonna go.
The other is.
Wait a
each
second,
storm-
Bill.
Wait, hold on, Keith, let me finish, please. Each storm is different, all right? This one here was a rain bomb where, according to the Bridgeport Golf Course people, 6 inches of rain in an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. They said their rain gauge overflowed and it held 6 inches, okay? The storm itself lasted an hour and 15 minutes. And like you said, in certain cases, it's just holding back at certain time, just the peak to do that. But there are also, like the 2018 storm, that was like a 4 or 5 hour duration, okay? And we were getting water. If you go back to the other slide, I just wanted to show.
Oh, just first off, Bill, that's what we're talking
London-
about. So
London's Brook is
I'll show that to
on the
you.
backside,
I'll
and
show that to you.
overflowed
Bill,
that last day.
Bill, that's what it would be like, right? That's what it could be like. Okay, where do you want to go?
No, I just
Back
wanted
to
to
the
go back
Owen
to
Fish,
the Owen Fish Park,
Yep.
just to show everybody, because each storm is different, unfortunately.
None of those storms, I've been there for every one of them, right? None of them lasted more than 2 hours.
I'm done. I'm done.
May I
All right,
break
can we move on?
May I break this into
There it is.
bite-sized pieces?
Yeah, so
Mr. Chairman, can we move on, please?
yeah, I'm trying to say that. I appreciate Keith and everyone's input on this. I tend to agree that, I think there's a lot of data and there's a lot of conjecture here. And I do think that we need to be acting on behalf of the citizens that live in this area. So I don't know what the next step looks like. You know what I mean? I don't know what that looks like. Do we need to, are there rules against having volunteers put this up? Or are there other considerations around the elevation bill or to do no harm and other things like that we have to, and where this has to be looked at and by whom? But if we're not here to handle stormwater management, I don't know what we're here for. So I appreciate you continuing to be so vigilant about this. And
make it clear, maybe your drawings don't have the elevations on it. I could take your drawings and put it on a contour map and see. And if it shows that it's possible, we're not, necessarily opposed to it. Again, there's all sorts of logistics and town people that get involved, but, some of these ideas and as I mentioned before, there's certain locations where these definitely have a chance. The key thing is diverting the water. They're not meant for detention. Diverting the water, and like you said, if that area can handle it, and you can physically go there, then that's an option to consider. I just don't think it's as quick and easy as Keith is leading on. But
okay, that's fair. That's absolutely fair.
We're all here. I think everybody in this room would love to solve the problem or at least improve the problem. We don't, and I agree, too many times people come across as obstructionists or delay. That's not why I went into the business of civil engineering, and that's, for the most part, I believe the town truly feels that way too. We're here to help solve the problems.
I guess
We will look into this further, is how I would
Well,
answer it.
as a next step, the contour map you mentioned, would that be helpful as a next step?
Yeah, do that, yeah.
Okay, all right, so that would look at the elevation.
Box walls and demonstration?
Is there somebody, I mean, I don't know if anybody in the room here can even answer this question, but is there someone we need to talk to about the legality of using citizens to set these up?
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to risk management and to the town attorney.
Right.
Okay, all right, so I mean, there's
The
a
answer to the
project. I mean,
question, because
yeah.
I have an answer to the question.
Oh,
The answer to the question is that having talked to the people with NOAC, no one has been injured putting out a box walls. Two, to finish,
Yeah.
the Navajo Indians have put out, have gone in and changed the course of a river using box walls. Three, the model is the volunteer fire department. People go into burning buildings as volunteers throughout the state of Connecticut. We are one of the few towns that has a all-paid fire department. So if this is about as low risk as you could think of, but is there insurance involved? You bet. You got it. But this is to help. To Bill's point, is this the magic bullet? I don't think so, but it's something that can have a significant effect on, in my opinion, right? The only way to find out is to do it. There are no other ways to know whether it works or not.
Okay, so to move on, yeah, so I think we're chewing up, we have other things on the agenda, so I think what I'd like to
This is
see
new
is.
business, though, is it not, John? Here's a proposal. This is what I think we ought to do. And I'd like to see if there's any people on the board would like to support doing these things.
Yep, no, I agree, and I think, in my mind, I need to look to Bill and other people in the town to understand how to kick off a project like this, to do whatever valuations are necessary at whatever pace we can do it, in order to understand just whether or not we can pull this off, because I think it's important. So that's the question for me, is how does it come together into a project, rather than, do we? Frankly, that's my personal opinion. It would take more than me, but I would love to understand, how we would even kick this off. So if it's doing the overlay map is the first step, great, let's do that. But then, also understanding the other steps that go into evaluating and executing and ensuring a plan like this. But I just don't know how that comes together in a public format, from a project perspective.
Well, perhaps the step is to contact the town attorney and find out
Yep.
if there are concerns, and that may also be a source for dealing with the Department of Transportation on the state level.
Let me offer that step one is the first one on the list, and that would be the initial piece that we should be doing. Right, this is town's emergency management team.
Yep.
Need to see this information and look to act on it. And I would say that's really step one.
Keith, if you don't mind, or Dick, I think you, RFRT, I have an idea of what it is, but I'm not sure, and just for the record.
And within the slides.
Rapid Flood Response Team.
Excellent.
Is that right?
That's correct.
Keith, I read your stuff.
Known as volunteers.
Look what.
Oh, we'll get them t-shirts.
Look what the t-shirts for the volunteer fire departments have.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Keith.
I have a motion.
Yes.
How about we ask the vendor who's actually deployed these things and dealt with town issues? Why don't we just
Call them up. You don't need a motion. Call them up.
I have called him up, but he would like to come. But it really is, the town needs to ask him to come. Keith Bradley asking him to come is probably, not the right way to do it.
I'll volunteer as a professional purchasing manager, certified.
Why did the Tiger Dam people come here?
Because
Because Alyssa Israel called them up and said, "Hey, could you come show these jamokes?"
and I did the
what
same
stuff is?"
thing, only I don't have Deep making the
introduction.
request to have them come.
I'll speak to him.
No, it was Alyssa Israel, who is a citizen of Fairfield.
As have I done, right? I've done exactly the same thing. But they're going to come because, who sponsored that meeting was not Alyssa. Israel. It was.
You did have Peter volunteer maybe to contact them, right? So,
As a representative of the board, under guidance of my superiors, and
You don't need guidance, call them up. They're just, hi, I'm a member of Flood and Erosion Control Board, and we've been kicking around this thing for too long, and people are hesitant to adopt it. Is there any way we can get 15 of your things here to play with?
I know how to work vendors. This is what I've done for many years. And I'd like to volunteer to do that as this next action, and also to wrap up the discussion for everybody's benefit here.
But does it need to become an official project somewhere, or it's like we're just kind of like doing it on our own capacity?
I think it's kind of beaten down, and
Right.
we're all tired, and
I know, but.
no, but I think it'll evolve, but we need more information.
I think we have, I just saw, we have 4 things that we can,
Right.
or 3 things we can do
Yeah.
in terms
Right.
of moving forward.
But I would like to volunteer to take on the vendor piece and collect information and present it briefly at our next meeting. And I think that'll answer a lot of questions for us, for all of us.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation and the dialogue. I'd like to move on, if we can, but I think those are good next steps. If we can look at the map, possibly, Bill, if we can call the vendor, and get their take on coming up and talking to us and/or bringing units to see. I think we probably should coordinate with the emergency management team to find out, and get them in early, to get their feedback or input on this. Yeah, I think those are all tangible steps that will help us understand whether this is viable. I think with that, we're going to move to the next agenda item, which is an executive.
Wait, I have another other business. Just to mention that, Greg and I visited with, Chief Barry at the fire department with a view toward understanding the construction at the fire department, so Greg can continue working on his little pet project of explaining to the fire department how they can flood-proof their building.
Yep.
So that transpired. I thought that was a good dialogue that we had with the chief, and that's it.
Okay, anything else on that topic? Nope. Okay. Any other new business? Okay. Then I believe the intent is to move into an executive session to discuss a legal matter, Chuck?
That's right.
then I have to leave.
I believe. Thank you, Bill.
All right.
So thank you, Bill. We appreciate your time.
Everybody has to leave.
So we need a motion to,
I'll move to go to executive session.
I'll second.
Thank you, Dick. All right.
I'll be in the office.
Okay,
Okay, one second.
trying to get out of here.
You can go down to Bill's office and,
I'm sorry, I'm slow, my bad. Are you gonna let us know where I can come back and I'll pick up my stuff? Is that all right?
yeah, I just gotta run to the men's room real quick.
All right, so I'm
there's probably not going to be anything happening after.
gonna take a minute or two then to pack up.
Yeah, do that.
If you want,
Oh,
I got it. We're almost there. That's covered.
I think you're still connected to the meeting, Keith, by the way, on your laptop.
oh, I don't know how to stop that. How do I do that?
You have to log out. You have to end it.
Log out and end it. I
Or you have
love
to
when
leave the
people.
meeting, you have to leave
I
the
think when you
meeting.
I love when people tell me things I have
Disconnect.
no idea how to do it. You're gonna help me, please.
Okay, so
Thanks
just
for-
open that up.
I thought I had done that. I guess not. Your connection is unstable. There we go.
There's a lot of things about me that are unstable.
The building.
Okay,
Here?
so
Oh,
you're gonna
sorry,
go,
yeah.
okay,
Down here somewhere, perhaps?
yep.
Leave. Very good. Is that
He's
set?
gone?
Yes.
He's gone.
He is gone.
So now this still stays active, but you're
Yes.
on so if other people were logged in, can you dump them?
Yes, I put them in a waiting room. No, you have to. Let's see.
Do you have the contour map that Bill was talking about?
No,
No,
Bill's gonna put it together.
He's gonna put it
I don't have
together.
the contour map, but I
No.
walk that every single day.
Yeah, no, I
But
understand.
he should have that.
Yeah.
There's no elevation
No, because he
between
said,
Little Allen and.
you know, get me a contour map. I just wanted to follow up on how he's gonna do that. That's all.
Yep.
I want a cup of coffee.
Oh,
Thanks, guys.
See, Keith.
I have to stop the recording.
And is that gonna stop the
Topo's available on
It
the
stops,
GIS.
yeah, see how the video
Topo's
stopped?
available on the GIS, so he can
Wait.
go and.
John, can you still see us?
Something meaningful.
I cannot see you, but I can hear you, which is fine.
You just shut off our camera, that's why.
Okay, wait
for
one
that,
second.
right?
All right, hold on. I'm sorry, I know how to do this, I just haven't been done.
This guy.
Camera's back on. There we go.
Okay, so let's go here.
Meeting.
Okay, so we're back from executive session. What was the script there, Dick? I think it was.
Motion to adjourn.
No, I
No
have
votes were
close, right?
taken?
Nope.
No motions were
No
made,
motions.
no votes were
Votes were
taken.
taken. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we are back from that, and thank you for that dialogue. And I think that
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
Oh, boy, Greg. Okay, thank you, Greg. All right, with that, we're going to adjourn. It is now oh boy, is it
No, we need to
9:17?
vote. We need to vote. Everybody in favor of
Everybody in
adjourning?
favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Hey.
Chuck, did you hold your hand down? Did you say no? Or we are adjourned, is it 9:17 there?
9:17.
Yes.
We're done.
I have to go eat.
Thank you,
Thank you,
John.
everybody.
Fine
No,
job.
No, thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.